Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Retold. Episode 3, Club Building, Act 1. It had been about a month since the school year began. At Eco Private High, it was lunchtime, and Yuta was about to eat as he brought his lunchbox in room 1-4. "Geez, I'm starving," he said. "Hey, I'm gonna grab a bite from the cafeteria," Ishiki said, leaving. "All right, see you in a bit," said Yuta. The anxiety and sense of unease that dominated the classroom gradually lifted. Everyone had settled down and found their place in class, and the distance between classmates has finally disappeared. Except for Rikka, who continued to sink deeper into her own delusional world. She, too, was eating lunch when two student girls came by. "Hey, Takanashi, why do you always make 2 lunches?" one of them asked. "It's important to have enough nutrients to prepare for battle. A high-calorie intake helps maintain power," replied Rikka. Yuta heard this and remembered that he was like that as well. Back then, he said, "An experienced fighter such as myself cannot afford the luxury of a large meal. Enemies could attack at any time." And he slurped his drink as some students nearby were confused. Now, Yuta wished he could go back in time and dropkick himself, which in my opinion was a bad idea. Anyway, Yuta went up to Rikka and said, "That sure is a lot of food." "It's important to have enough nutrients," said Rikka. "I must eat in order to stay strong for the battle ahead." Does she say the exact same thing to everyone? Yuta thought. "Did you make all of that lunch yourself?" he asked. "No, the priestess did," replied Rikka. "Really? Toka did?" asked Yuta. "She doesn't look like the type that would be a good cook." "Really? I'll be sure to pass that information along," said Rikka. "Are you trying to get me in trouble?" asked Yuta, playfully chopping Rikka in the forehead. She then picked up her tomato slices with her chopsticks and said, "To avoid arousing suspicion, the priestess conceals her true identity by impersonating an unamusing chef." "Wow, to have a lunch prepared by a chef every day must be really nice," said an amused Yuta. "Red fruits can have seriously negative effects on one's powers. This one curves magical abilities," said Rikka, moving the tomato slices to the side. "Are you trying to say you don't like tomatoes?" asked Yuta. "This green squishy area is particularly dangerous," said Rikka, referring to the tomato seeds. "Just look at it! There's obviously something diabolical going on!" she continued. "Are they really that bad?" asked Yuta. Rikka then noticed a part of her rice was colored like gravy. "This rice has been tainted by its evil," she said, picking that part up. Rikka was nervous to eat it, so she then looked at Yuta. "I guess it can't be helped. I'll eat it for you," said Yuta. So Rikka fed Yuta her part of rice with her chopsticks. But as he closed his mouth eating the rice, he realized that Rikka might have already put her chopsticks in her mouth, which could only mean one thing. The whole class applauded Yuta and Rikka for their indirect kiss. Even Nibutani applauded them. Yuta felt embarrassed. "No! You've got the wrong idea! It's not like that!" he exclaimed to the whole class. After lunch, the students were at the gym watching the demonstration by the karate club. Yuta was sitting next to Ishiki. "Hey man, think you'll join one of the clubs?" "What do you think?" Ishiki asked Yuta. "No way," he replied. "I can't see myself in any of these. How about you?" "I'm in it straight for the big time. The music club's where it's at," said Ishiki. "You must be really into music," said Yuta. "What are you talking about? Of course not," replied Ishiki. "No guy in his right mind would join the music club just for the music. That's just crazy. Think about it. Electric guitars are like a chick magnet. No girl can possibly resist a rock god. The ladies will be falling all over me," he said excitedly and confidently. "More like they'll be running away from you," roasted Yuta. "Sounds like you're overcompensating for your lack of popularity." "Shut up," said Ishiki, leaning to hit Yuta. "I shaved my head for the baseball club in middle school, but now I'm really headed for the big league. Just you wait. This time next month, I'll have a guitar to my shoulder and a girl to my right. Off to my left will be another girl who's crazy about me. All thanks to the club life, said an overconfident Ishiki. The club life, huh? Yuta thought. Suddenly, a small piece of folded paper came by and smacked Yuta in the face. Ugh! Rikka had flung it to him and gestured to Yuta to unfold the paper and read it. It read, "When the assembly's over, go to the rendezvous point at the gravestone with the wilted leaves. Rikka." Yuta then scoffed and used the same paper to write, "I have no idea what you're talking about, Yuta," and he flung it back to Rikka. She tried to catch the paper with her 2 fingers, but it was too fast and smacked her in the eye patch. Ow! After the assembly, despite what Yuta implied, he met Rikka at the gravestone with the wilted leaves. She was holding a leaf in her fingers. "Why are you waiting for me like someone about to make a confession of love?" asked Yuta. "This leaf could be used as a weapon," said Rikka. She threw it like a frisbee, but it was, well, leaf weight. Yuta sighed. "Well, what do you want?" "Our time is very limited, see?" replied Rikka. "This matter is of utmost importance, so please listen closely. I wish to establish a secret base of operations on our campus." "Secret base?" asked Yuta. "We will disguise it as an ordinary after-school club," said Rikka. Yuta sighed again. "I get the feeling you just told me something so weird my brain stopped working. Can you say that again?" "Pevelovia beniste," replied Rikka. "Huh?" "My apologies. I used the language of the parallel world without meaning to," said Rikka as Yuta was getting tired. "It's a language whose writing developed as a reflection in our dimension," continued Rikka. "Enough with the ridiculous explanations! What did you say earlier?" asked Yuta. "I wish to establish a secret base of operations at this very school," replied Rikka. She then had a scroll of paper. "We shall be known as this," said Rikka, opening the scroll. "Far East Magical Society?" asked Yuta. He then calmly had enough with Rikka. "Best of luck to you," said Yuta, bowing to her, before he turned away and walked off. He was a few steps away from Rikka when she slid and falcon kicked Yuta, tripping him. "Wah! Oof!" "Please wait," said Rikka. "You could have asked," shouted Yuta, getting up. Rikka got up as well. "Before you leave, look at this," she said, holding a different piece of paper. It was a chart of club roles. Rikka wanted Yuta to be the vice president of her club. "You think I'd actually agree to that?" he asked. "I thought it might come to this," said Rikka as she closed her eyes. "Very well, then," she said as she opened them back up. "It must be done. I will settle for vice president. I relinquish the title of president to you." Yuta karate chopped Rikka, saying, "That's not the problem. There can't be a club without any members in it. Not to mention, do you really think anyone else would join?" "Don't worry. I've got it covered," replied Rikka. Yuta and Rikka were trying to recruit some club members in front of a statue by the flagpole. They had the club's name and a sign that read, "Now recruiting. Far East Magical Society. Single file line, please." Unfortunately... "This is strange," said Rikka. "Why do you think no one signed up?" "Why are you so surprised?" asked Yuta. "This must be the handiwork of none other than the magicians of the Boundary Line Bureau," said Rikka, pulling out her Schwartz CX. "They've launched another scheme to thwart our progress, but not this time. Prepare to die!" she said, swinging her Schwartz ZX. Rikka accidentally, unawarely startled some student boys. Yuta grabbed Rikka's shoulders and tried to hold her down. "Knock it off! Do you want to make a fool of yourself?" asked Yuta. Rikka startled a nearby student girl passing by. What is it?" she asked. Rikka then got scared and went behind Yuta and said, "Yuta, I leave this to you." "Why are you acting so shy?" he asked Rikka. She then came out of hiding, drew out her Schwartz ZX and said, "The eye of the Wicked Lord can see right through you." "Wicked Lord?" the student asked. "I am sensing a very unpleasant energy coming from you," continued Rikka. The student was shocked. Only the powers of darkness are able to dispel it. Sun your soul over to the Far East Magical Society, and the eye of the wicked lord shall pow! Ow! Yuta karate chopped Rikka and said to her, "We're trying to get people to join, not scare them off." "Sorry about that. She gets a little carried away sometimes. I really am," he said, trying to apologize, but the student walked away. I then decided to have some fun and warp a familiar face next to Yuta on his right, without making a sound, by the way. "Ah! What the heck?" he exclaimed. "Oh, how unexpected." It was Kumin. She was reading a book and had a pennant that read, "The Napping Club?" asked Yuta. "Yes. Are you interested?" asked Kumin, but Yuta and Rikka didn't answer. "Do you nap? It's nice," she continued. "Oh, well, it's not really my thing," replied Yuta. That's the same thing everyone else always says. I tried hosting the club last year too, but I couldn't get anyone to join then either." "Oh well, nap time," said Kumin as she pulled out her pillow and laid down on her desk. "Is that a pillow?" asked Yuta. "Yep, a sunny day is perfect weather for napping. This pillow is absolutely perfect for it. My dreams will be full of grassy fields. Yeah," said an ecstatic Kumin, napping away. Rikka then had an idea. She closed her eyes and also napped. For a few seconds before she woke up and said, "Yuta, look." She showed him the club name. It now said Far East Magical Napping Society. At this point, Yuta couldn't decide if he should be shocked, baffled, or disappointed at such a change unrealistically. Regardless, he chose to be disappointed and thought, combining clubs is only going to make people avoid us even more. "I'll tell you a secret. I used my magic to rename the club." Kumin began to sleep talk and wave her arms. "The hills are alive with the sound of music." How did she do that? Lucid dreams about fields? Thought Yuta. To think that the situation would be this dire, I must be missing some vital element, said a puzzled Rikka. As she was puzzled, Yuta heard a familiar voice. "Is it this way?" it asked. He looked and caught a glimpse of Nibutani inside the gym. "I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick," Yuta lied to Rikka. Lying is bad. What kind of society do you live in where that's right? Yuta secretly followed Nibutani to the gym. She was wearing a cheerleading outfit that had blue, yellow, and white. Ishiki just so happened to have the same idea as Yuta. "What's up? My god, you're just in the nick of time," he said. "What the heck are you doing here?" asked Yuta. "Shinka Nibutani's trying out for the cheerleading club. Like I would miss a once-in-a-lifetime event like this. Just look!" And apparently, Yuta and Ishiki weren't the only ones stalking. Stalking was also bad, by the way. "The other guys from class just so happened to be nearby and stuff to watch too," continued Ishiki. "Whoa. Nibutani's this popular? That's crazy," said Yuta in awe. "Of course she is. I mean, she was elected hottest girl in class. She's a perfect 10, said Ishiki. "A perfect 10, huh? Wow," said Yuta. Suddenly, Nibutani made eye contact with Yuta and gave him a friendly wave. He and Ishiki were shocked. Ishiki then said to Yuta, "Wait, don't tell me." "What? No! It's not what you think. She was obviously waving at someone else," said Yuta. But when they looked back at Nibutani, Rikka was right next to her. She was also in a cheerleading outfit. I used my magic again to warp Rikka there. Yuta and Ishiki were surprised. "Is that Takanashi out there? Talk about lucky!" exclaimed Ishiki. "What does she think she's doing?" exclaimed Yuta. "She did it," said Kumin, who awoke from her nap, coming next to Yuta and Ishiki. "Earlier, she said cheerleaders go whoosh up in the air. I really want to try. Sure looks like a lot of fun. I wonder if they'd let me try too." Two cheerleaders were holding Rikka by her feet. as they balanced. "Everything okay up there?" one of them asked. Rikka was nervous. "In the fight to locate the invisible boundary lines, I once flew to a height of several thousand meters. Compared to that, this is nothing," she said. "What's this girl talking about?" asked one of the cheerleaders. "I don't know," replied Nibatani. The cheerleader looked at Rikka and asked, "Want to jump?" She was whimpering and scared. "Maybe not." No problem," replied Rikka. The cheerleaders then prepared to toss Rikka. They threw her up in the air and caught her. Rikka whimpered and teared up. "Are you okay?" asked one of the cheerleaders. No problem," replied Rikka. "Can you walk?" asked Nibatani. "No problem," replied Rikka. "There's definitely a problem," thought an unamused Yuta. Just then, he heard maniacal laughter coming from his right. There was a group of people on stage rehearsing a scene. "You shall not pass! Taste the power of my ultimate attack!" one of them said. "The theater club's at it again," said Ishiki. As they were rehearsing, Rikka went up to the stage in awe. Yuta could see that and went by her. He asked the teacher on stage, "What is this?" "It's called an etude," she replied. "It's an improvisational performance used to expand one's acting range. This scene is called Log Bridge. There's an imaginary bridge wide enough for just one person to pass, but people try to cross from each side. You have to ad-lib and convince the other person to move and let you pass. Whoever gets the person to stand aside wins," said the teacher. The log bridge guy then laughed maniacally and said, "If you wish to get by, you must defeat me first." Rikka thought he was talking to her, so she posed like she was gonna fight him. "He wasn't talking to you," said Yuta. "Wanna try out?" asked the teacher. Rikka agreed and became the log bridge guard on stage. She was confronting an actress. The actress said, "The love of my life is getting away. Please understand, I have to get by. If I don't hurry now, the plane he's on will leave. I have to tell him how I feel right away, or we'll be separated forever," she said dramatically. And Rikka's response was, "Huh, pathetic." And I thought to myself, bruh. Yuta was shocked, as the teacher was confused. Despite this, she gave a point to Rikka. She was then facing off against an actor. He said, "Look, a bear! Get out of here!" And Rikka said, "The eye of the wicked lord will strike it down. Stand aside!" The teacher was getting disappointed with her, but still gave Rikka the point. She then confronted another actress, but before she could say anything, Rikka said, "Schwartz ZX Prototype Mark II!" The teacher gave her another point. Rikka was now facing off against the previous log guard. He laughed maniacally and said, "If you wish to get by, you must defeat me first." Rikka shouted, "Dark matter, blaze!" The guy pretended to block the attack and sent it back to Rikka. She dropped to the ground. "He stopped the attack. I never thought I'd face such a powerful foe here," she said. "Now, then, will you stand aside?" asked the previous log guard, but Rikka refused to give up, and pulled out her umbrella and got carried away, attacking him. The guard dodged the thrust, and Rikka tried to slide and falcon kick him, but dodged as well. Rikka got up and said, "I win." But Yuta karate chopped Rikka in the noggin. Ow! That evening, Yuta, Rikka, and Kumin were back at their recruiting spot in front of the statue. We've combined forces with another club, thus enhancing its appeal, but we still can't get anyone else to join. "Why not?" asked Rikka. "What'd you expect?" asked Yuta. Rikka pulled out her phone covered in trinkets and said, "Drastic times call for drastic measures. I must call her." As she dialed, Kumin said, "Wow, Rikka, did you come up with a plan?" Rikka was on the phone with someone. "It's me. The Cardinal has moved into action. By order of the Vatican Magical Society. Yada yada yada. Can we possibly meet soon? Thanks." And with that, she hung up. Yuta was shocked. You just said yada yada yada, didn't you? What the heck was that? Kumin chuckled as Rikka said, "We will rendezvous tomorrow." I have a bad feeling about this, thought Yuta, and unfortunately, he was potentially right, as another student was about to get in on the act. The second act. Death.